Hey y'all, welcome back. Glad to have you guys joining back in with us. We are glad to have you guys here. We're working on the potatoes. So let's get with Kelly and see what's going on.
Well, I apologize up front. We are about a week behind. We had that cold spell with all the rain. Everything just kind of paused. And so our tomatoes, cucumber, everything just stopped growing. So in the last week though, it got warm again and everything shot up, and we've been so busy with so many things around here that I've let it get behind. I apologize for that. What we should have done is, like I was telling you earlier, the reverse video we did when we planted them, is when they get to about this height, you want to bury half of them. So we're actually behind. These should already be up, dirt up to the top of this, about an inch from the top of this. So today what we're going to do is we're going to get caught up, because it's better to do it in stages, like 3 inches than 3 inches. Well, we're going to have to do all 6 inches today. So it's not going to be detrimental. They are above that. It's not going to hurt, but I like to do it in stages as they go up. And I don't think it'll hurt. Well, we're going to find out, but I don't think it's going to hurt. So this is a little bit different on the soil this year. I found this container gardening. It is real, let me show it to you. It's real fluffy. I love it, because this is a tubular. So we want it to, like carrots, beets and stuff, you want it to be able to expand in onions. You don't want it tight and packed. So this is from here down is where our root structure is. This area here is pretty much, well, our dirt's about here. So from about here to here is where our potatoes are actually going to grow. So what we want to do is make sure that's nice and light, not really hard and packed down. So let me show you this here. We found this. Like everything else, when you experiment around a little bit and you look around at your big box store, there's going to be open bags laying around. And look at it, feel it, see what you think about it, because you've got so many, brands out there. Miracle-Gro. Miracle-Gro has their chemical soils. They also have their organic. So it's not like you say, well, if I use Miracle-Gro, it's not organic, because they do have an organic line. So the difference though, let me see if I can get this out of here. This is so light. It's a little bit of wood chips in here, but it's soil, but it's a real light soil, and it don't pack hardly at all. So this is going to be perfect. Even after it rains, it's just gonna fall apart. So this will be perfect for our potatoes. Now, just to make sure that it doesn't get too tight and packed, what I like to do is add my peat moss. Now the peat moss, I think I've showed it to you, but I will do it again just in case. And I just use this just about everywhere except for flowers. You don't want to use this around your flowers. It's not that it's bad for its flowers, because it tells you right here, flower beds. But what this does is it keeps the ground soft. It keeps it, from packing. So if you've got tall flowers and stuff, you want your bulbs to be able to grab a hold and then put a shoot up 3 foot tall with a tiger lily on the top of it or something. And that heavy weight, you want a nice base. All right, so this is that peat moss that we use for everything but the flower garden. So this stuff, it just blows. It's just very, very light, and you don't need a lot of it. It holds moisture, so your ground doesn't dry out. But at the same time, you put this with your soil. Now that's really not even a little bit of packing there. Where you see it now, they won't even pack at all. See, and that's what you want. You want it buried so that they can grow. I may go back and say that again. Potatoes, you do not want any sunlight on your potatoes when they're growing. If they get sunlight on them, they'll be what they call a green potato, and that means they've got sunlight. Green potato will make your stomach upset. It won't kill you, but it'll really make your stomach hurt, because it is basically a mild poison, So some people call them poisonous, when they get like that. But most people are just going to get a really bad stomach ache. So just make sure your potatoes, while they're growing, are covered. Once they're fully grown, once you pull them out of the ground, now you're going to have them out in the sun, letting them dry, letting the skin cure. That'll be another video, but for right now we want to make sure there's no sunlight hitting those potatoes while they're growing. So I am gonna dig some of this out and mix it in. Won't take a whole lot, but I'm gonna mix this in here. Ready? Okay. All right. So that should be ready. Kind of got that mixed in. Now we're going to try to be as careful as we can. First, I got to just realize I got to pull my drip line out of the way. Now this just does a 360 here, and it waters these three, so we don't have to worry about it. I just don't want to bury my line down in there. So now we're going to have to be very careful. These will break, but I'm not worried about covering these bottom leaves at all. They will just go away. So you don't have to worry about pulling them or plucking them or doing any pruning or anything. So what we're going to try to do is get this up to about here. It's going to settle a little bit, but you don't want, you know, your rainwater going out. So we don't want to be making a hump here or anything like that. So make sure when we're done, it's going to be about an inch. So you go about flush with your barrel or whatever you're using. Now remember, you can do this in a 5-gallon bucket. You can do this in a 30-gallon bucket. You could go buy those blue barrels that you see on the side of the roads, cut them in half and use them. But like I said before, always make sure that you check your plastic and make sure it's a number 2. That means it's food grade, because anything else could have had a poison or a gas or a petroleum or something in there that can cause harm to you if it gets into your food. So make sure whatever tub you use, it is a number 2. That means it's food grade. So let me get in position here, best I can. Try not to make a mess. So whatever tub you use, no matter what size it is, if it's plastic, make sure it's food grade. So what we're going to do is just start moving this in. We'll start on the sides here and get the sides filled in. And all we're going to do is be careful not to hurt the main stalks. If you break that stalk, it's going to stop growing there. So make sure you don't actually hit or break the stalks. So leaves do not matter. It's going to keep going. This thing will actually it'll keep going, it'll keep going, it'll keep going. And it's going to be, I don't know, 3-4 foot tall. And it's actually going to be a pretty, like almost a bush out here when it's growing. So you'll be amazed how big these will actually get. But after they come out of the ground, anything above ground is not going to make a tater. Anything below ground is where your tater, that's where all the action's at. Okay, so we got a few of these done here just to see what would happen. And we're getting up there pretty good. Some of these are a little shorter than others. Let's see, if we come over here, you can see what I'm talking about. This plant is only this tall. So I don't want to cover this all the way up. So we're actually going to be able to be fine on a lot of these and doing the stage. So I'm only going to go up to about, what, 3 inches below here. So about half of what we had. And I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let these get a couple more inches taller. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to fill it up like I was talking about earlier to here. So we're going to be fine. We maybe missed 1 stage, but we're going to hit 2 out of the 3. So we're going to be fine on that. Now another thing I showed you a while ago, and this is just a mixture of a light soil. So if your box store or your local hardware store or whatever has a sale on even potting mix. Potting mix is a light, fluffy, holds moisture, feeds your plants. That would work. So you can mix that with it. Whatever is handy for you to fill these up, because the bottom, that first, when you want to set those potatoes, that's where your main nutrients is going to come from. So you want to make sure you have your black cow or whatever manure you want, your nutrients. That's where most of the roots are going to be. That is where the nutrients is coming from. So the first base that you put in here, that you actually planted your chits in, is where you want to be, or how do you want to say that? Spend your money. That's where your nutrients are. That's where you spend your money. Now, from here up, this is just where our taters are growing, and it's not as important as long as it's fluffy, not packed. So if you get a sale at the potty mix and there's 2 bags for $2 and another brand over here that's $3, but they're both cheap, mix them together. All you're doing right now is just topping these off to let that tater have room to grow. So it doesn't matter what brand you're using, it doesn't matter what kind you're using. There's different potty mixes, soil mixes, garden mixes, whatever's on sale. But just make sure that it covers your taters and it's fluffy and not a topsoil. Don't use a topsoil because that packs. Don't use a topsoil. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep going around here, and I'm going to fill within about 3 or 4 inches. This is the part that just it gets your back going, especially as many as we have. And when this is all done, it's like Christmas though, because I'm going to take this, all this work I put here, and I'm going to put it back in this wheelbarrow, and I'm going to dump it out. And I don't know what I'm going to have. You don't know how many taters you're going to have, what size they're going to be. That's Christmas, and that is when it's so well worth it that they're your own taters. So that, and also this soil here next year will go out here, because every year you have sticks and little stuff that, you know, compost. That's what it is, and it breaks down. So this right here will break down and it'll become soil. So don't worry about it. Yes, you're spending money this year on building this, and then you're going to dump it out, and you're going to take the taters out, and then you're going to use this mix to go out into your raised beds or however you do your garden. But you could put it away, put it back in the tub, and use it again next year for your taters. It's reusable. It's not like one time and done like so many things in our world. So don't worry about what you're spending now, because next year that's money you don't have to spend next year. So every year you make a little bit of investment in your garden, and every year you're going to get more and more, spend less each year, but the returns on it are priceless. So I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to get back to filling these up, and we'll see you here in a little bit.
Okay, you guys, we got the potatoes filled up, and of course we'll do one more fill up to about here, and then we'll be done. But everything got filled up, or fulled up, however you want to say it. I'm part hillbilly, so I don't know how to say things right. But everything got filled up. And then we'll do one more layer, and then we'll be done and just let it grow. So that's what we got. You guys have an awesome day. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. When you subscribe, you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. You guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you next time. Smile for us. Bye.